I've never made one of these videos and put them out publicly. There's been many times that I've wanted to do this, and I'm doing it from a place of good heartedness, from a place of thoughtfulness, because I'm going to be honest, I've been thinking about doing something like this for a very long time. I'm doing it from a place of rationality as best I can, from a place of looking at this from all sides and all bases, I hope. But again, I'm not perfect. I'm just a human being. I'm a regular guy. But I have to do something like this because even if only 10 people see it, or 10,000 or a million see it, doesn't matter. I have to do it for myself because I have to prove to myself that I'm free to talk, free to discuss, free to debate. Recently, I've been thinking a lot about what it's like to have open discussion in Ireland, what it's like to speak freely, like just say what's on your mind, especially online and really with a lot of people in general. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized it's pretty impossible unless you really trust the person. And this is quite scary. It's quite scary to think that, obviously, and I'm talking about having a discussion about things in a rational, balanced, thought out way, not like in a way, I'm not talking about just general chit chat, having jokes, the banter and all that. I'm talking about like actually discussing things, like talking about things that you believe or things that you think should be, be it political, be it economical, be it uh, values, your values, your religion, whatever, like situations. And it's actually quite scary at how much you cannot do that, especially online. And I was discussing this with my partner recently, that I felt like I wanted to say certain things in videos, but I couldn't. And there's a lot of times when I say certain things, I'm kind of editing around stuff so that I can not mess up an algorithm or set off some sort of keyword algorithm thing that will potentially ban my channel and all that. What kind of things does that bring to mind? Something I will get onto later in the video, but this obviously brings me on to the Garron Noone incident. An extreme example of someone talking about something in a, like, honestly, a very balanced way. I mean, there's been nobody that I've asked so far, and I mean, I'm talking about people from all walks of life that are just saying, what did he say wrong? Like, what did he say? He literally gave an opinion about something that we all know is an issue. I mean, to deny it being an issue, even the people that have caused the issue are now saying it's an issue. So, like, what's the problem there? But yet he gets threatened, online abuse, and has to leave the internet because people are shutting him down, threatening him, calling him names, bullying him. God only knows what happened, because I understand this because I'm a smaller creator than Garron, like a lot smaller. And I have had people violently attack me with their words online, and I blocked a lot of them. I've had people that specifically target me, trying to catch me out, trying to do things. And it gets to a point where I just said, you know what, I don't need this type of stuff, right? I'm just a guy talking about things, talking about Ireland, right? I'm not trying to claim I'm an academic. I'm not trying to claim anything other than a guy that loves my country, loves my history, and wants to promote it and wants to talk about it. Like, just like any other person in this goddamn world that wants to do that for their own culture and their own country. I'm not going to shut them down for doing that. They can do that all they want. That's called freedom, democracy, and what we want to live in. And apparently we're living in it, even though we're not. And I'll get that onto that now in a sec. But Garron Noone, I understand probably his state of mind right now, because not in a very small capacity, that it actually feels quite scary when you have people attacking you for what was a very balanced view. So this is what the world is right now, and this is what Ireland is right now. This is what's going on. People, and these, maybe there's some bots involved. I don't know anything about that stuff. I think people are very quick to say it's bots, but I think actually there's a lot of people behind those keyboards. There's a lot of people spewing hatred and vengeance and threats and all this kind of stuff on people, and they don't realize it. They have no idea that this is a different beast, because if you're in person, you would never do it. So this means the death of debate. This means that a democracy doesn't exist, because this has happened in the Dáil, the Irish government, recently as well. And because I'm apolitical, I don't take a political slant. I'm going to keep the issues and the political affiliations out of it, because I don't want to. This is not what this video is about. It's a broader perspective of, talking about the issues from a bird's eye view. Not that I'm anyway academic about this, but I'm just trying to look at it from a kind of a broader perspective. I did see one particular individual being asked a question about something to do that is kind of semi-related to the issues that Garron brought up, and the politician who is in a high position right now, although I don't know how, because I won't go into it. Basically shut down the guy with shame. He basically shamed the politician for asking a question, and the question was very much, can we get facts and figures about this specific scenario, please? And then what happened was an emotional, abusive response, manipulation. So shaming him in his response, not giving him the answer, but shaming him for asking it, using a kind of a shameful tactic. I was listening to another politician. It was on TikTok. I cannot stand this guy. I just find him like a vermin, to be honest with you. There's a few of them where I look at them and I think to myself, how are they even waking up in the morning and going to work? I have no idea. But this guy said something that I agreed with. And I kind of actually watched the video, listened to him, and I was sucked in by what he was saying, because he was talking about an issue that I'm very much in favor of. And I said it to myself. I said, I effing agree with him. I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal here, but isn't that what democracy, isn't that how we're meant to live in this world? Aren't we all meant to be different? Aren't we all meant to have different ways of doing things? And the whole idea is we argue and debate, and whoever wins the consensus of the people, that they lead then, right? That is not what it's all about. But yet we have politicians that aren't even elected into certain positions that are there now. We have actual votes that have went out to villages and stuff in Ireland and towns in Ireland that have been voted against, and the government didn't even listen. What was the point of the vote in the first place? My focus has always been, what is the government doing? Who is really ruling the government? And let's look at it from a bigger perspective, because we're all down here name calling each other, attacking Irish creators that everybody loves. They made a big mistake by doing this. Like, they've made a big mistake. The people that I'm talking about, the people that actually felt like they should attack him. So these tactics of shaming, demonizing, bullying, these are all tactics of bullies, of people that want to control others. I've dealt with bullies when I was growing up, and I know exactly how they operate. And they use these tactics. They shame you. They use personal things about you. They accentuate them, try to make them public, because that person that's doing that has no skeletons in the closet, apparently. If we got out their WhatsApp, if we got out their email, I bet you they would be running scared into oblivion, because each and every single person in this entire world has stuff that is personal to them, and they don't want things getting out about them. Every single person. But these master manipulators, these controllers, they use these to their advantage. We're seeing it all around the world with all these people that are being brought to the light now, where they're being video cameraing people doing all shameful acts, and this is how they use they're bullies and they're master manipulators. So this is a part of the game, right? And this is what what they're doing is in their politics and in their agendas is they're gathering troops to do the work for them. And it's either or as well. This can happen on every side. This can happen on all sides. The whole point is the fight is futile. The fight fuels them. Okay, who is them? Okay, who is them? The people that control the Irish government. Who is that? I think it's the European Union. I'm not even going to get into that debate, because I know where you're going in the comment section. You're going to say, oh, you're an IR exit. You see? Immediately emotion. Let me get on there, keyboard warrior. Hate. Get out of that paradigm. Get out of that. Stop being emotional about it. We're just discussing this. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying you're wrong. Let's talk about this. Who's controlling the Irish government? It's not the people. It's not the people of Ireland, because we're democratically voting for things and they're not even listening. The Taoiseachs have not been voted in for how long? It's a disaster. There's no democracy in this country. Finn Dwyer, I respect his work, but he talked about it so eloquently about the Great Hunger in Ireland, basically known as the famine. Some say it's the genocide. There is definitely a view that I have that the British Empire were a massive factor in this. But he described and he so eloquently put what actually happened with the fishing trade leading up to the famine. And basically what actually happened was very much like things that happened with Europe in the last couple of decades. In my opinion, again, I am not trying to say that I'm right or wrong. Please go have a look at this, Finn Dwyer's YouTube video. Actually, maybe I'll link it in the comments for a source, in the video description as a source. He talked about how the British Empire built, basically started loaning money to the conquered country that is Ireland. Ireland became poor because we were conquered, we were defeated, and Britain started stripping the resources. And they actually built up the fishing trade here in Ireland. They built harbours, they gave loans and stuff like that in the early 19th century, and then started dismantling the whole thing, right? And basically in the end, when people were starving and poor and stuff, lots of fishermen had to go to these. There was actually pawn shops, and they were giving away all their tools and their materials to the pawn shops. And guess who owned the pawn shops, right? Pawn shops. Anyway, the British Empire were a big facilitator in that scenario, right? But it brings to light, it brings something to my mind. The European Union. If you examine the European Union and what they did to the fishing trade in Ireland, what they've done to the agricultural trade in Ireland, to what end? What is that all for? Do you think the Irish government gives an absolute toss about any of these people? Do you think that it's anything other than money? They're all elitists. Most of them that are in government are elitists. They're elitists. They do not care. And elitists mix well with elitists. The elitists of Europe, the people who control Europe, they mix well with them because they're getting massive checks, massive donations. They live the life of Riley going over to Europe. Now, I'm not saying that the answer is anything other than let's have a discussion about this. Let's start talking about this. Let's start debating this. You see, before everybody gets emotional, keyboard fighting me, talk about the things, discuss it. Who is really ruling Ireland? Why are all these things happening without a vote? What is really going on? That's what we need to discuss, and we shouldn't be shut down for it. When problems exist, we should be allowed to talk about them. When the reality shows us one thing, we should be allowed to ask, why is this happening? When I ask a question about something, I shouldn't be shut down because the question involves something different to myself. But maybe Garron Noone, even though what happened was terrible, maybe this is the tide that turns, because we need to stop this 1984 Orwellian world from continuing to happen. We need to stop it. And actually, we need a lot of people to get on board with this discussion. And we need to stop these people from shutting down other people, shutting down anyone. The point is, you're allowed to debate it, no matter what side you are on. But you are not allowed. You're not allowed to send vile, abusive, threatening hate to people, no matter what they say, even if they disagree with you vehemently. Listen, if people insult me in my social medias, I believe in free speech, but I'm not going to be taking insults off people. That's not free speech. Free speech isn't about me going up to someone's face and telling them they're this, that, and the other thing. Free speech isn't about having the freedom to be hateful and the freedom to be insulting. But hateful doesn't, in my opinion, include having a discussion about something. Being hateful is going up to a person and shouting and roaring abuse and calling them all sorts of stereotypes and calling this, that, and the other thing. That's hateful. We all fucking know that. When you're saying something that's talking about something that's different to you, right? Unless it's pure hatred and pure vile and pure racist kind of bigotry stuff, it's not hateful. So in conclusion, this isn't about left versus right, he versus she, they versus them, straight versus gay. This isn't about anything versus. This isn't about Ireland versus Europe, Ireland versus Britain, America versus Ireland. This isn't about Conor McGregor versus whoever else is running for presidency. This isn't about Garron Noone versus the leftists. This isn't about any of these things. This is not about that. I don't care about any of that stuff. This is simply about the freedom to be able to state an opinion based on a rational thought processes, based on rational thinking, level thinking, and also from a place of good-heartedness, which obviously Garron Noone has, and I do have. I genuinely have good-heartedness. I'm a human being, yeah, I've hurt people, I've been hurt, but I never purposely try to hurt people. I'm not vindictive, right? So when it comes from that place, that is what's paramount, right? This is to have a discussion, to be able to talk. Imagine going to a family dinner and every time you say something about something that you think about, you're shut down and you're ridiculed and shamed and embarrassed for thinking that. That's abuse, right? So we need to stop the abuse. Just because I have a different opinion doesn't mean that I should be abused for it. So hopefully, this is the tide that changes towards a true democracy, towards a change. I'm not even talking about this video, I'm talking about generally speaking, towards a change in how things are being run, about a lot of these crazy stuff, a lot of these crazy things that are happening in terms of laws and regulations and the way social media is, etc. I hope people grow up, for God's sake. I hope people stop spewing hatred and bile online. I just hope they do, because it's just it's crazy. Look, I want to wish everyone well. I want to wish everyone the very best in life. And that's it. If you want to check out my Irish history documentaries, there's a playlist for that. There's many videos on this channel. I would love your support if you press subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit a like, make sure you leave a comment, and of course, please don't abuse me or be hateful towards me. That would not be nice. Also, if you want to support my mission, www.bertiebrosnanfilms.com. You can buy my book. There's signed copies available. And also, if you want to donate and help me create more content for you, because this is all very time-consuming stuff, and I do need help in that regard. So if you want to do that, it goes straight into Bertie Brosnan Films. There's many ways of doing that. And yeah, subscribe to me on the other platforms as well, you know, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. And make sure you give me support there. All my content varies across platforms now, so I'm making more effort to create more unique bits of content everywhere. YouTube Shorts as well, different kinds of content. Let me know if you like that kind of stuff. And yeah, thank you so much. Goramila ma gwif galer macordja, slán go fóill be made a kaint.